Back to basics. You're very much welcome, and my name is Moses, live on Bethan TV for Health. I'm always very delighted to know that someone out there is tuned in, ready to get and be part of the discussions that we have. This is Back to Basics, like the name suggests. It takes us back to the basics. Understanding the basics gives you a very, very good perspective to how you can maneuver through life. So you're very much welcome. And just to remind you that you can be a part of this discussion by tuning into Bethan TV on the mainstream, start times, free to air, but also you can join in online on different social media platforms, X, and also www.bethantv.ug. On the tab Watch Live, you'll definitely be tuned into this program. But we are also available on different mobile applications, from mobile app, Airtel TV, and Your TV. We do this such that you cannot miss this show because we discuss things and areas that impact on our lives, specifically driving them to mental health. You know, we must live positively. And specifically, today is different. I've been hosting one guest, but this time I have two guests, a lady and a gentleman. I'll start with the lady. Charity Akankunda. Nankunda. Nankunda means she loves me. Just a translation. It's not that she loves me, but that's what actually it means. She loves me. Charity Nankunda, she's a lawyer, and we are very happy to have you on the show, Charity.
I'm honored to be here.
Perfect. Okay. And then the usual suspect, though these days he has been on and off, maybe doing his usual work of going into communities and supporting people. I understand last 2 weeks you were in the north?
Yeah, I was in the northern region of, northern part of Uganda, trying to teach a team of social workers and some other people who work in mental health on how to handle post-traumatic stress disorder, especially in children. You know, that part has struggled a lot, and we're trying to find ways on how can we make it easy for even a teacher who is in class to help identify and also help treat this person. So we're training a therapy called CAT. CAT is Children's Accelerated Trauma Treatment. Now that is to help a child, any person, even you, to give this person that treatment, that person does not suffer with that until he goes to the hospital. You can handle that before you bring the person to hospital. So it's what I was doing with the people in Lira. In Lira.
Perfect. He is Paul Walia, a clinical psychologist, and I always say that he is a regular here, but he says he's not regular. But he's a clinical psychologist, and we've always invited him, and like the way he said teaching, he really teaches and sharing knowledge. And like I always say, if we have very many charities and polls, people who share knowledge without leaving anything, Uganda would be a better place. Actually, the world would be a better place to live in. So this evening,
maybe there are others who do it better than us. I am just thinking.
Yes.
So if you only talk of Paul and Charity, there are others who are better than Paul and Charity.
Yes.
Maybe those ones would make the country so much better.
Interesting. Yes, but you know, sometimes people know things, but then they don't come out to help others. And you never know. The knowledge you have might be the knowledge that someone requires to solve a problem without even incurring costs or to live a better life. So by the time that you come and use a media like this to reach a bigger audience, I must say we really do appreciate. And definitely Bethan TV for her that makes this happen, we also appreciate.
Thank you.
Now, this evening, we have Charity and a lawyer and a clinical psychologist. You might be wondering now, what's this combination? But the topic we are going to look at is something that describes the way we feel as lay people, us who do not know the law.
Omuntu wa bulijjo.
Yes, omuntu wa bulijjo. Yes. the lay people. Owawansi. Owawansi may not be a very good phrase.
Yeah.
Let's use Owabulijo. A layman.
Yeah.
In English, maybe.
Okay.
We may not know the law, but we expect fairness from the law.
Yeah.
And we respect it, honestly. But then sometimes this is how we feel emotionally, and we bring our own reasons. We rationalize something, and based on what we think. In most cases, you find based on our values, the faith, the culture background. In upbringing, you find for us at home, this thing is okay. And you're like, why are they even condemning this one? Without taking into consideration the law. Yeah. So that's what we want to look at. How people rationalize things, or people's rationality, which we can say maybe public opinion, or people's own opinion, without basing on the law, on the written law that we have in the land, and the law. But we know all these, they always result into the consequences, especially on one's mental health.
Yeah.
So that's why we have a clinical psychologist here. We just want to see my reasoning as a layman against what the law says, and Charity is here, so we have the resource. And then all these, what happens in people's mental status? Yeah, sure. They are chooser, they are choosed, and the observers. You see now what happens here. Something happens between two people, but because of social media and everywhere, like we come in, we weigh in. And then someone starts to relate and see, if this had happened to me, how would I be feeling? So that's the topic tonight, ladies and gentlemen, rationality versus law, and the impact they have, or the effects on one's mental health. So I'll start in by bringing Charity and asking Charity to help us understand where does the law base to, first of all, before there, what's the aim of the law?
Thank you so much, Moses. So the law is your friend. First of all, the law is your friend. It's not your enemy. The law, it's a set of rules or guidelines, we could call it, or package that is intended to protect and guide a society on how it should live.
Very keywords: protect,
to protect,
guide,
and guide, to give the society order on how they should live. And how they should live, when we say to give it order, it means it is fair and just.
Fair and just. So the
intention is justice.
So the ultimate goal is to cause or to bring fairness
and justice.
And justice.
And justice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before bringing in Paul, so where does it best to achieve? I know it can be a lot, but generally, where does the law base to reach its ultimate goal of fairness and justice?
Yes, so the law, like we said, it's your friend. So laws vary depending on the different places all around the world. So each law is tailored to suit the particular society that it is meant for. So that's why you'll find something is lawful in Uganda and unlawful in Kenya. Something is lawful in the United States and not in the UK. So laws are always tailored according to the particular society, according to the times at that time. So there are things that were law 10 years ago that have been changed today, because the law actually changes with the times. That's why it, by all means, come to bring justice, because it is always tailored according to the nature of the people, according to values of the people, the customs of the society. So that's its basis. And like I said, it is brought with the intention of promoting justice, bringing order, actually also protecting the people against their own government. That's why you will find, like, even the president is subject to the law. You will find that even all these rich people are subject to the law. That's why you'll find, like, we have the International Court of Justice, where even countries are subject to the law. They will bring a whole country before the court. So the law purposely is meant to bring justice, to bring fairness, to bring order in society, to protect citizens above everything else, and also just 1 second. So the law is, we have private and public law. So the private law is the one which protects citizens in particular, the stealing, those things that guide Omuntu Wabuli Joe. Then the public law is the administrative law where we fight corruption, where if I'm applying for a job, there are guidelines that must be followed. That's part of public law. We have administrative law, which is also under public law. So it's wide, but divided into 2 parts to protect a citizen like you and me against, if someone rapes you, you have somewhere to go. If someone does something to you, you have somewhere to go. Like you may not have to go and kill them yourself because, like we said, it may just be out of emotions.
That would be emotions. Wow.
Yeah,
thank you, Charlotte. I want to bring in Paul. Paul, you've widely gone into communities and supported different people in rehabilitation centers and seeing very many people that have mental health issues. I just want to ask this in relation to law. Have you had or seen or experienced with people who are in a negative mental health state as a result of law?
Yeah, many people of that nature are there. As he says, there are many cases that happen, and the law comes in to create justice with this person and maybe the person who feels offended and the offender, something of that sort. But then the way this person perceives that may hit them so hard that it disorganizes their mental state. Take an example. We gave, we are looking at, and I just want you to help me out how it's stated. The divorce bill, you know, someone is, someone says, I'm married to this person. He's 72-year-old and I'm coming to marry them legally. I'm 24-year-old and then something happens and I'm divorcing this person. What does the law say? The law will say maybe since it's divorce and I just really need to be helped because that's what I hear as a lay person in terms of law, you know. We know that there will be division of property that is owned by these people. So this person who has toiled 72 years down his road, his age, he has accumulated what is accumulated, and they're bisecting it either 70-30 or 50-50. I don't know what exactly. What this person, how after this action has been done, how is this going to leave this person his thoughts? No, is he going to say there it's fair, let her take, and me I also stay with this?
But I love her so much.
I love her so much, let her take, you know? Does it really happen that way? So you find that such people, after that incident has happened, the way they are going to think, how they are going to, the mental processes may change, beginning from how they feel about what the law has stated and how they feel about the person who is benefiting from this. So you find that it's going to push them in a corner of the negative mental health, and some of them are admitted. You find them checked in either in mental health facilities or they are dying home slowly with depression, and we may not even notice. Because at that time,
and
maybe
some are bewitched.
Some of them will say, now after that they create, you know. And thank you so much for bringing that. Africans, we have reason for everything, you know. Yes. Now such a thing has happened. You really see this person is really.
Africans have reason for everything.
Exactly.
And even they have solutions for everything,
you know.
Regardless of whether those solutions cause fairness or
exactly,
justice.
You know. So you find that this person is dying slowly, and you say, maybe the woman has bewitched him. But this person is totally suffering with depression. He's no longer getting out of the house because he feels this is too much. He's no longer getting out of the house. And then tomorrow you find they're announcing him suicidal death. So people have been struggling with this so much. So if they don't have anybody to help them, they're going to suffer like this.
They're going to suffer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul, for bringing this out. Charity, still talking about people's reasoning. The layman's reasoning and the public opinion without considering the law. And like I said, like I stated from the start, this might be, they may be reasons based on maybe on culture, on beliefs, on values. They may be reasons. But from the law perspective, where do you see gaps in public opinions?
Okay.
Yes. Where do you see gaps in public opinions? So Charity, Paul, I just want to request you we take a short break, and then when we come, Charity will pick it from there. Where does she see the gaps in people's opinion or our reasoning as lay people from the law perspective?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are discussing rationality versus law and their impact on one's mental health. Very interesting but fundamental discussion. Stay tuned, we'll break off shortly.
Bethany TV for Health.
UNICAF and Bethany Group are hosting a virtual webinar on the basics of infertility on March 15th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Zoom. Earn a generous UNICAF scholarship to pursue a British bachelor's or master's degree online from one of their prestigious UK partner universities, the University of East London, Liverpool John Moores University, and the University of Suffolk. Register now and achieve your academic dreams. For more information, please send an email to info@uganda.unicaf.org or contact us on WhatsApp at 771-976-750.
Are you looking for a platform to advertise your business and boost your sales? Bethany TV got you covered. Take advantage of our introductory rates and maximize your leverage for brand awareness, advertising, product launching, live coverages, activations, and so much more. For booking and more information, contact our sales team on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV for Health. Bethany TV for Health.
Welcome back from that short break. We are still discussing rationality versus law and the impacts on one's mental health. Before the break, I had asked Charity, like in the studio you have Charity and Paul. Charity is a lawyer and Paul is a clinical psychologist. So we are trying to look at law and then mental health. So that's why we have the two experts. And thank you for keeping Bethany TV for Health. So we're trying to look at our reasoning as lay people. Our reasoning, the way we reason and we try to justify something or an action. And these days, even people take it to social media and they say, the court has decided, but let's take it to the public court, if that exists.
They judge the court.
They judge the court. And according to very many things, this one was hustling, this one was doing what, the woman was right, the man was wrong. Yes, and sometimes there is even no basis, no ground, no premises, as I can call it. So from the law perspective, Charity, where do you see gaps in our reasoning as trying to reason cases according to what we think, what we perceive is right, without taking into consideration the law?
Oh, thank you, Moses, once again. So there are several gaps that result into that. And I would say the first one and the biggest is ignorance. So ignorance, I'm not saying people are stupid, like people misunderstand that word.
Ignorance. In Uganda, Paul, is...
ignorance in Uganda. Ignorance.
In Lusoga. Outamanya.
Outamanya maybe. Outamana.
Yeah.
Outamana. In Lusoga is Outamana. Not knowing I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Outamana, yeah.
Yeah, so it's ignorance of the law itself. Although we have this adage that says ignorance of the law is no defense. So ignorance is that you just hear rumors why I'm calling it a gap is the fact that you don't, like, people are biased. So when they hear that, for example, like he was saying, someone will write in a newspaper and say, oh, they've said when you marry a woman and then you're divorcing 50-50. And you find that it's actually not true, because that's the position actually in Uganda. It's not 50-50 per se. There is an explanation, what in law we shall call rationalization of the judgment. So when the judge says that, he goes on to qualify reasons and even puts conditions. For example, in that regard, actually, when you marry someone, 50-50 is true, but it's not automatic. It's not that everybody who divorces will get 50 of the other person's property. It is qualified by the fact that the court stated that there has to be a contribution that you made in that marriage for you to get something out of it. So if you didn't contribute nothing, you will go with nothing. However, the court went on to say that the contribution may not necessarily be monetary, that you gave in money also in the family. It can also be that you were a housewife, and so that time and energy that you would have used to make the money to contribute in the marriage, you were busy taking care of the children, you were busy, I don't know, digging, people were like in the villages and whatever, and so they're going to quantify
taking care of the gentleman.
Thank you.
And the
children
looking nice.
Thank you.
He goes to make money in good suits and very clean suits.
Yeah, you iron them, all that. The court goes on to say that we shall quantify that. And also, to show that the court is fair, like I said, ignorance, they don't know that those details. Court goes on to say that, you know what, if you educated someone's daughter, when we are quantifying, we're going to subtract that contribution from the woman's part after we have, so we shall calculate what she contributed. If it's non-monetary, we quantify it. They have a government valuer who will do that. No, after they've done that...
First hold on there, Charity. There is something I always wanted to ask about quantifying the non-monetary things like Led has done. Yes. Is sex...
Quantified? No.
Quantified?
No, sex is not quantified because...
I don't know, but like if she has been giving in, so for it just goes like that?
Yeah, it goes like that, reason being... In marriage, when you get married, actually the law considers, they call them conjugal rights.
Yes.
For a marriage to be a marriage, there has to be conjugal rights, and that's a right of each party. So we don't quantify it, otherwise we shall be abusing the legacy of such a big institution as marriage, as lower it down to transactional. Yes. Okay. So I was saying, thank you. So I was saying the ignorance of the law. So you see, they don't see all those details, that the law is fair enough to say that, okay, if you are even a housewife, we shall quantify and give that to you. And also, even you, the man, it's fair to you in the sense that if you paid tuition for this lady, we shall go to the point you picked her up and we shall subtract that from her share. So tell me that the law is not fair when you know those kinds of details. So I think that's the biggest gap. And then the other, and that's why these days we have organizations like NGOs that go to, give that free education to people, although they have not stretched enough to everyone because of resources and other factors.
That's true.
Then the other big gap is emotions. Human beings, we are so emotional. Especially as women, although as human beings generally. So if you look at, let's say, rape cases, so they'll bring, let's say, statistics in the newspapers, and unfortunately they're usually not fair. Like you find the rate of rape last year has increased. Each year it's like escalating. And the unfair part is you will see the police cases, but we shall see the cases will reduce as we go to court, how many managed to reach court. And then the court is requiring evidence, because there is a general principle in law that you would rather have 1,000 men on the street guilty than put to prison one innocent man for the rest of their life. So that's why court will require the evidence. And now the sad part will be that the evidence, when people are raped, the first instinct, you want to wash it away, and that's evidence washed away. So when you go to court and they need evidence, of course it's various evidence that is brought together, corroborated, you find that you don't have it, and therefore the successful cases are few. So when we go to the general court of reasoning of Omuntu wa bulijjo, you'll be like, they raped, I even saw and everything, but how do we know you're not paid to say that? You understand?
Can you imagine they have acquitted this person he raped?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just a bias.
Like maybe,
Yeah.
yes, there is. Hey.
Yeah, and you find it's just a bias saying that all men are trash, all men are animals, all men are this. So even you, because you went to Twitter and found a trending story, which could, quote unquote, I don't know, which could be promoted by someone who has paid to do it and mobilized group to follow him on an innocent man, or it could also be true. We don't know, but we usually follow the big crowd. So you find, because people they're emotional, they rush to say, oh, that person, you know, they're naming you a rapist and whatever. So that's another gap that we have.
That's another
emotions
gap.
And then we also have a gap around bias. People say, you know, the courts don't give us justice anymore. You know, the corruption, the bias on like this government.
If you don't have money, you will never get justice.
Yeah, if you're not this tribe, if you're not this type of person. So sometimes
if you don't know anyone,
the bias in itself and lack of faith in the justice system is another big gap that people will be like, you just got caught, but there won't be any justice. Okay. But now people do not know the reason why it wasn't successful, like we said earlier.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Paul, I just want to bring you in. Charity has really brought out the gaps in our reasoning as lay people. But that does not stop that we still reason. We still reason, and we try to give reasons to different things that happen and try to justify them. This creates expectations. Because of what we know, because of what we think is right. Even if someone goes to court, there are expectations created. And these expectations, if they are not met in the courts of law, because the courts of law will be fair, trying to provide justice, but then you find the justice that is provided is very far from what I expected to get from them, basing on the reasons I had, even the people around me and everyone, like they are like, oh, the court has judged against this, and you find there's a gap there. How do we see these expectations affect one's mental health?
Okay, Moses, as you said, you brought it out well. I want to begin it from here, that many times people, the community is so much concerned about our behavior, not so? But me as an individual, I'm concerned about my feelings. That's why you see, people will say, that's how the court has said, you know? But me, inside me, I'm like, no, it's not, I don't mind about what they say, it says, I mean about what I feel, you get? So many times, as the court will do whatever it does, I'm going back to the feelings of this person, the individual. So even if it's the factual thing, as Charity has been explaining, even if they've attached, and it's really see the court has judged it right, there is a feeling in this one person that may not be satisfied. Now, when this feeling is not satisfied, it's going to create a lot of thoughts. Maybe they're, as it says, the things, maybe they're doing it because I'm not of this tribe. Maybe they're doing it because I'm not land. Maybe they're doing it because of this. And now those are what? That's a bucket of negative thoughts in you. Now you're carrying a bucket of negative thoughts, leaving the right or rational judgment that has been taken, passed on by court. No? And then we have convinced ourselves to stay in this denial of the reality, you know? Yeah. And denial is one thing that if we stay in for a long time, is going to affect us. So you're going to carry this denial, and you find that it's going to change the way you're thinking, and it's going to progress from denial to other things. And you know very well that from what I think as a denial thing is going to trigger other feelings. Now these feelings are going to trigger now how I'm behaving. So if I behave in the way against what the court has done, take an example, you say, the court has ruled it this way, me, I'm going to pay myself this way. I'm going to go against her and maybe wait for the road and do this. You know, it's already, I'm already mentally affected. I don't need to wait to be taken to hospital before you know that I'm mentally affected. Already those thoughts are already, I'm already sick. I should say I'm already sick. Because the denial bit, first of all, is keeping yourself in denial is a sickness already.
Right.
So that is how mental health is affected by the things that we perceive. That we think, we maintain the negative thoughts about what has been passed because I'm concerned about my feelings. I feel they didn't. Actually, we already say, I feel. And the community is not going to go about what you feel. The law is not going to go about what you feel. They are going to go about the facts. I raped the. I'm just using.
Definitely, you didn't rape. Yes.
God forbid. Maybe I raped her because I didn't have. Take an example. Because I
conviction.
No, let me say this. I stole because I felt hungry. What is the behavior? What is the behavior? The behavior is stealing.
It's stealing.
It's what the community is going to do. That's a fact. So you being hungry. Women.
Now, you know, people can really say, like, for example, Paul, you've stole from Charity, and Charity is endowed, like, has things, has food, and has everything. Like, she is a rich lady. And then someone has maybe stolen from there, and then you find now Charity is taking the Paul to courts of law, and people are saying, but sincerely, even the food, the Charity was thrown.
She has all the things. And now that's where the problem is.
Yes, that's being petty.
That's where things are now people are thinking of. The people are thinking.
It was a bunch of, it was even there in the compound, like she had left it
for a long time. But Charity maybe needed Paul to come and ask, say, please, Charity, give me this bunch of matoke to go and feed myself and my family. But Paul decided to take the behavior of stealing it. So let's not look at her feelings only when we go in court. However, in our side of mental health, feelings are very important. We always want to look at how is this person feeling. Now that's where the things come. As the community for which is not bothered about how we feel, whereby I'm taking the law also part of the community, we think about the individual. How does this person feel? No, he's feeling angry. That's why he got a stick and he hit that person. He's feeling angry. That's why he walked away. He's feeling so sad. That's why he decided to keep in the room and is crying there by himself. So we want to look at the feelings of this person. We want to look at the person. So in the community, for us, we want to pick out these people individually. We look at them. How is this person individually? How is this affecting this person individually?
Yes.
Yes, that's how I put it.
Oh, thank you very much. Before I leave you, how can you advise someone who's preparing to go to court to mentally prepare for the outcome?
Mentally, one, I would want to say a person is going to court. Court is going, it's like taking a thing to a weighing scale. We don't know where it's going, and I'm not sure of what it is. So I don't know where it's going to weigh this way or this way. That is one of the preparations. I expect anything, not so. Many times people go with I'm going to win this case. And then you find that you're going to win this case, you put your expectations 100%. And then you find that the judge is telling you, no, this is this. And you find that this is a full blow on you. When they give you they pass the ruling, you find yourself in prison, in hospital, the following day, because that's not what you expected, and it's hitting you bad.
Yes.
So let's think about that. When you go to court where we are going to measure, let's go knowing that we are going to measure. Two, when we go to court, let's not stick onto our opinions only. Sometimes it's I don't know how I should bring it out, but it causes you so much negative, let me say, anger. If you, like we said, no, I think he's going to win the case because Charity is rich and Paul is poor, and he just only told one whatever. No, let's be open-minded.
Stealing is stealing.
Stealing is stealing. Let's look at the laws, the constitution. I think that will help us.
And also moral law, the moral laws of the society.
What is the society saying? So that will help us so much that this does not hit us, push us on the wall, that it causes a lot of effects on us. I'm just looking at that. There are many other ways, but maybe those two things could help us very much as we go to court, as we come to Charity now.
Yes.
Actually, I saw a video where the guy... The guy was, he expected to win the case. I think it was some white country. And now when the lady said, I give you life sentence or something like that, the guy jumped. It's like, I already know my life has ended. I have nothing to lose. Jumped over the locker and grabbed the judge's neck, and now they had to give him like another sentence now on top of the other one. Yeah, so like what you are saying, the expectations. I think he expected that maybe there'll be like
expectations versus outcome.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Charlotte, I want to bring this, to compare this scenario, and then I would arrive to the question I would want to bring forward to you. When we go for testing, for example, HIV, we find that in clinics and hospitals, they are after testing services to manage the outcomes. I don't know in the courts, I've never been there. Do we have such, in Uganda, do we have such, I can't say services, but such measures of people, maybe counselors, because counselors can be everywhere, to manage
the expectations?
Yes, and help some of, minimize some of such behaviors, especially when the rulings are done.
Yeah, thank you, Moses. We actually have those measures. That's why you have a lawyer. Your lawyer is like your guiding light of when your lawyer says, did you murder? You said I did it. Then I tell you, I'm going to ask you questions A, B, C, and D. When they ask you in this line, say, keep quiet. I will defend you. That is the counseling. When I tell you that this case, yes, you murdered, based on our evidence, it's overwhelming. So you may not necessarily go scot-free, but we shall manage to mitigate the situation and reduce your sentence from murder to manslaughter. When we say manslaughter, you will get a few, like a less punishment compared to if it was murder. So in a way, I'm managing your expectations. So when we're in that court and you see things heated up and I'm fighting, you keep believing in what I told you, that I have the best person on the team. And therefore, we shall get out. Because when I say I'll reduce it, I will make sure that it's reduced to manslaughter. The law has provided what manslaughter punishment is. So I already tell you that maybe it will be, let's say, 5 years. You would have gotten maybe life for life, and we shall reduce it 5 years. So you already know that 5 years, you've mentally prepared yourself that the evidence is too much. We know that I'm not coming back home. But I know that I'll come back home at some point. Yes, so that's the measure.
The lawyer is your counselor in short.
Yes.
Wow, that's very interesting to know. Yeah, from the layman's side, Charity, I hear you lawyers are very expensive. And are they available for people to access? Is it advise people on such? Because I've ever had something like this, the government lawyer. I don't know the situations where the government lawyer comes in, where you need a private lawyer. Just comment something on that as we try to conclude, actually.
Yeah. Thank you, Moses, once again. So we have, like I told you, public law, private law. So public law is also, criminal law is under public law, in the sense that that's why we have the DPP's office handling criminal matters. So that's why you see those cases, that Uganda versus a name. So Uganda, as a state, is mandated to protect that person it is representing. So for example, if, God, I'm not going to use people here because this is an extreme example. So if A murders B, B has died. The family of B, because the government is mandated to protect the rights of the citizens, the government is one which will come and sue A. And that's how the police arrests. Then the other person who murdered A is in prison. So for A to come and see justice and his whatever, we have a lawyer who is representing the family of the victim. Now, because A may not have the money to represent himself, he may be a poor man or he can't afford it. We even have a law to help that group of people who are broke, That's why we have like NGOs which come through to represent those people, because there's so many, where you come and represent that other person. But also under the law, I think the Constitution or the Penal Code, it provides that the government, if you fail, if it is a matter that could give you a sentence of life, they are called capital offenses, the government gives you a lawyer also.
Okay.
Although you're the one who murdered, but because we are trying to promote fair hearing and justice, that you don't say that because I could not afford a lawyer, that's why I have been sent to death, given a death penalty. So matters like that, the capital offenses, government will give you a lawyer. But where there are smaller offenses that are not capital offenses, you're required to get your own lawyer. But usually the NGOs come through for those kinds of people.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Charity, for that guidance. I see Paul is shaking the head.
Yeah, I'm just really happy for especially the first step, because I was really looking at people who are taken to court. You know, some people, when they look at law, you're going to be presented in front of a judge. That is enough to give them butterflies in the stomach. It's enough to raise the anxiety.
Like, my life is done.
Yeah, now that's a clip I really wanted from you, because that is correlating well with mental health. Because if the lawyer is able to say, please calm down, this is what you expected, this is what is going to happen, it helps me to start managing my mental health. However, I'm just also adding something. There are moments, you know, this is something new to me. You've gotten someone in the village, like where I come from, near the lake. You've never even stepped in school. How are we also helping those people? Because they also have a mental health to protect. You know, even a mere being brought into the public, it's already enough to see this person with all this, is like, where am I? You know, I think that is also just enough to cause them mental health issues, you know. So that's what I was trying to look at, and how are we helping them, on addition to the lawyer, to prepare them for that case hearing, you know. And I don't know how, you know, there is psychology of law, and as a discipline in the psychology, whatever. So I don't know how those people do it, but I think it is something we need to help. So that these people's anxiety does not also cause them issues that they're destabilized, you know. Yeah, I'm trying to think about it that way.
Actually, I wanted to give a quick example. When I was at LDC, we used to have like, so it's like a course you offer, but you give free services. Like before you graduate, by then you know most of the law. So they usually go, like, let's say to Luzira, and then they bring, they bring those people in, like in school, like a big auditorium. Then they pick on students who are interested, who are offering that course unit, and they tell you this person's stall, they give you facts, they give you the file. Then the chief magistrate, usually you handle those matters at the chief magistrate level, comes in court and sits there the whole day. There is a time even we left at 7. The chief magistrate was committed. He's like, I'm going to deal these people who are supposed, because it was Christmas time. It's like, if people should go for Christmas, there are some who have small cases, because there would be cases of someone stole eggs and whatever, and then someone was in Luzira. So they bring the whole bus. Then you as students, they give you the file. So you go and talk to this guy. What's your name? I'm this and this and this. I'm going to represent you in this matter. Then you tell me your facts. I stand there personally. I represented so many people that were released before I even graduated. Yeah, and so actually those organizations help, because that one is called Legal Aid Clinic at LDC. Wow. So they're just that, again, we said ignorance, some people don't know about them, and they don't know where to start from. And like he said, when they say court, you feel like you're finished.
When they say court, yes. Very, very interesting, insightful, and knowledge sharing, and getting facts from the lawyer and the clinical psychologist. But I must say that our time is well spent, so we need to conclude the show. It has been nice having Charity and Paul. Just in less than a minute, Charity, and also Paul, you have less than a minute. You can just say bye to the viewers as we conclude. I start with Paul.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers. It is really, really helpful to have these things seen, but we also need to manage our expectations, not only in court but everywhere. Many times whenever we raise our expectations, sometimes it's very good to look at, like he says, you look at the case. How is this case, especially now when you're with your lawyer? How is this case? What am I expecting out of this case? If I don't manage my expectations, it's going to cause us a bad issue in denial. And we all know that the beginning of mental health things is denial. So if we're stuck in denial, our mental health thing is it has started. Our mental health cycle has started, and you're going to be affected. Please make use of these things. And I also see it in Butabika, one of my supervisors, preparing people for court hearings. Please, it's not going to prepare you like the lawyer, but managing your emotions, managing how you're going to face, even before you go to the lawyer, as the lawyer is going to now make the final preparation. You need this preparation. How is it going to stand? How are you going to look at people? Thank you so much.
Yes,
and please keep.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Charity.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, our dear viewers. I just wanted to let you know that your mental health matters to the law. The law is your friend, and to that effect, we even have a Mental Health Act that is here to protect any person who has mental issues, and the lawyers will be there to protect you. Endeavor to know that the law is your friend and look out for those who can help you. We are available. Thank you. Interesting.
Thank you, Charity. Thank you, Paul. And our topic has been rationality. That is our reasoning as lay people versus law, and the way how Charity has put it, that law is our friend, and the ultimate goal is to provide justice and fairness. Therefore, as we reason and we take things in our hands and into public opinion and public reasoning, let's know that they must be facts, and the law provides that. And also, let's prepare, like Paul says, because everything we always come back to our mental health. Thank you very much for being a part of this discussion. This has been Back to Basics, and from Charity and Paul, we must say have a great night and a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye. See you next time.